Hello friends! So a girl named Sophie, over 17 mirrors, made a video called Field Notes, and it's about all her favorite parks in her city. My style of video, that's what I like, people going to parks. But I showed Mia and she was like, yep, that's a very Carla video. You should do one. I don't know if she said that, but I did one, where we're going with this. This is a video response. So here are my favorite parks halfway across the world, in case you wanted to know. So first up is the Arbutus Greenway. This land used to belong to the Canadian Pacific Railway, and it was just an unused railroad track running through the main part of Vancouver. So the city of Vancouver recently purchased it and is in the process of converting it to a green space. What I like most about this park is you can just walk for a really long distance without many roads you need to cross or anything. And that's my favorite thing, is traveling really far on foot. One drawback is I went on the hottest day of the year so far, and there is no shade. But my favorite thing is the community gardens. Most of these were put up before the green space conversion started, but there are just a lot of little plots, and I pass lots of people working in their gardens. Overall, being out on a hot day, walking around looking at plants, reminded me of my childhood, so 10 out of 10 would walk again. Okay, next is Fraser River Park. It's basically just at the southern end of the Arbutus Greenway, and I'd never been before, but my sister discovered it while she was visiting. I got a bit lost in an industrial area on the way there, but I found some flowers, and I found it eventually. And it was way nicer than I thought. There was a big field full of daisies and so you could sit by the water. And a boardwalk that went along the water and through the forest. So overall, much bigger and nicer than I expected, and not tons of people there. I think it'd be a nice place to bring a picnic and a book, and I will definitely make Adrian come here with me in the future. One thing is, it's not very convenient to transit to. I happened to walk all the way there because I walked down the corridor, but I'd say it's worth whatever you have to get through to get there. Next up is Hinge Park, which is definitely a in the middle of downtown kind of park. It's super landscaped and artificially shaped, which is usually not my favorite. I just want raw nature, but I actually really like it. I've come here twice before this. Both times were by accident. I came here once when I was going to a light maze with Adrian at Christmas time, and the other week I stumbled across it with my friend, and we saw a beaver. So I've got to put it on my list of favorite parks now. I didn't see the beaver again this time, but I saw this, which is about close enough. This park also has some community garden space, and also an off-leash dog area, which I didn't film because it was full of dogs, and I didn't want to film people's dogs for some reason, but I should have. There were a lot of dogs. Definitely worth it. What I like about this park is there are lots of little areas, so even though it's in the middle of downtown, you can find your own little space. Just off it is this island, which is called Habitat Island, I think, which I did not check out, but I will do in the future because that sounds intriguing. And then if you keep walking along the water from there, there's this cool bridge, and then this square with giant birds in it, and it's just a nice area in general. Last but not least is Jericho Beach Park, which, unlike all the other parks, I chose to go to on a super rainy day, which is also a way to experience a park. You get the whole thing to yourself. My main notes from this visit would be rainy. I was under the impression it was sprinkling, so I was not wearing appropriate footwear. I used to go to this park a lot in first year because it was just one easy bus away from my house. Now I live not that far away from it, but it's 2 buses and a walk, and so I just don't go very often. I like this park because it's got a beach with some sand and benches, fields for playing in, and some ponds, and some forest, which I did not go into this time. Got a little bit of everything. There are usually a lot of bunnies around here, but I think they were all hiding. And it's also usually good for seeing birds. There were mostly just crows today, and a couple ducks. Oh, and a heron, and geese. I guess there were 2 of everything. And there are these binoculars, so you can look across the ocean at the North Shore. Not a good day for that, but I could see downtown through the fog, very slightly. Anyway, it's nice. I just come here every now and then now and reminisce about first year and look at the nature. One thing about going in the rain was everything was really beautiful and green. There's a lot more to see here that I didn't film, but I wanted to go home and get dry. She recommended having a boyfriend with you to get you to climb things / film you being cute. I couldn't get my hands on one of those. So just trust that I looked cute and know that I was alone. Also, after choosing and going to these parks, I realized they're not my all-time favorite parks in Vancouver. They're all, or 3 of them, are just ones that I've discovered recently. So I guess I just like discovering new parks. Thanks for watching. If anyone else has some nice parks, go ahead. It's a tag now. No. Like your videos. They're good. Thanks.